teammates back sometimes, especially when you have talent. And it can make it seem like the talent that you do have are worse than they actually are. And I think we have kind of the same effect on Flipside. Though, at the same time, it's hard to say because these players on Flipside haven't played on other teams that have won major titles besides like Markelov and, you know, at some point, or even like in another version of Counter-Strike. But I think that what's interesting about a team like this is that you do learn a lot from the IGL. Like whatever they put into practice, there are stuff that you can grab from it that's great. You know that when Flipside, that when Blade throws a flash or a smoke, that he's practiced it in an offline server for a very long time. You know that it's going to be good, in theory.
Everything is calculated.
What's that?
Everything is calculated. Whether it actually pays off is a whole different ballgame. And
right.
Well, talking about things paying off, we are live in the pissed round of map 2 between Faze and Flipside. We saw a very brutal outcome in that first map. And well, the question now remains, will the same thing follow suit in this second map?
We will soon find out, and it looks like Flipside are already lower. I don't know what this means right now. They're going to be making noise. Have Faze have any idea that this is happening? One's dropped ramp, and one in vent. Yakum, I think he's going to be surprised to see these. What the heck just happened? I don't know how they got this much map control, but even Hazy on the flank isn't able to stop the plant and dies. 5 alive still for Flipside.
And one man remaining here, and well, there's nothing he can do. So, initial reactions, Flipside, they just took the pissed around by storm.
I don't know if they were just able to run outside without anybody spotting them, or if they were spotted and Faze's reaction were to drop one vent and one ramp, which is an appropriate adjustment, but I don't think they expected the run through Heisenberg, or what do you call it? I call it Heisenberg because it's got the hazmat suits or whatever. You watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah. I think a lot of people watch that. I think it's a ridiculous. I think it's the 6th most common watch.
Oh, it's called decontamination, I think, but that takes too long. That's too many syllables.
I used to call it hazmat personally, but
yeah, hazmat. There you go.
Hazmat works.
Anyways, I didn't think that Faze expected them to run all the way through and just open the door right away. So it might have caught Yakum off guard, and then from there, they pulled the string that made the whole ball come apart. And I think there was a.
Yeah, I think there was a small technical issue of some variety. I think it's all good. Maybe you can inform us on that one. I can't quite.
Yeah, it's unpaused, so we're gonna get back into it.
Looking to see what Flipside can follow through from this one. Of course, they did walk away with this round in a fairly successive fashion. The thing to watch will now be Faze and whether they respond, and we can see the buy coming on, and it's going to be head armor respectively on 3 players. Rain and Alu actually going to be taking the hit in terms of Rain just going to be taking the deagle, and Alu not going to be buying anything at all, which is a smart play, of course, going to be looking to bank up some money for future rounds. And well, overall now it comes down to those short-range battles. Can they find the picks, do some damage, gain themselves an SMG or a rifle to play with? So far, Will did it. He's looking to say no.
Yeah, I like the idea of 2 players just saving completely, even if they don't want to have that second off. The extra bit of money, it can be quite useful, and if you can't do it with 3 people with armor and pistol, you probably weren't going to win the round in the first place. But a lot of this stuff is very circumstantial. Flipside are going to have another plant at the lower site, and Rain looking for the wall bang through the floor.
I've seen that once and only once, and that was the, I think it was from Def, I believe. And that
yeah, it was from Def, yeah.
That was simply crazy, and I have a feeling...
And that was an ace, too.
Yeah, that was just one of those moments I don't think we're going to be seeing in Counter-Strike for a very long time.
No, that's it.
A bomb still going to be ticking away. 3 players on the Faze side, and, well, there's only 1 player even remotely close. That's going to be Keo, and I look at this one and go, 1 player remotely close, the 1 player with armor. You maybe expect to see something a little bit different, but maybe there's reasoning behind that.
Not quite sure.
He has actually just chosen finally to back off. Maybe he was just looking for a bit of a frag, trying to use the armor to utilize him in terms of picking up a frag, but nothing went his direction. It's going to be a smooth round coming in the board for Flipside. They've got themselves the 2. Faze, well, there will be no response this time around. It's just going to be Keo carried over. Maybe a couple of flashes and some P250s here and there, but nothing too crazy, just a flat eco for the most part, with Flipside looking to continue making some bank with those SMGs.
Yeah, we've got quite a big map, but it's also got quite a few close angles that you could play. So your pistols have a lot of options. It can be quite difficult sometimes on T side to make to gain any map control safely. Like see even this hut, for example, or these angles at ramp. There are a lot of places where pistols can sneak up to quite easily and then put themselves in positions to at least get 1 kill, come in like a Scourge and go 1 for 1 really quickly. But so far, it looks like Flipside have found a hole in the defense and have made their way through ramp. Will be able to get a plant, offer themselves up a free bit of money here. And Shara ensures that by killing Rain, who's playing Heisenberg or Hazmat.
got to give him credit. They're doing a good job of singling out these frags with the SMGs as well, that he's going to pick up another on towards AZ, utilizing the UMP's range to its full extent. Keo will find a bit of punishment. It's going to be inflicted on towards Shara. It's only one frag to be found, and well, the best bet, he's going to try and save it, but already he's going to be taking the brunt of the damage, knocked down to 43. His friend standing right next to him led to a very gory death. And Keo looks like he's soon to follow, as he will pick up one, making some money with the UMP. That's actually surprisingly good in terms of just the sheer amount of dollar he has just made. Whether he can get away is a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, he's going to die here. He is not. No, he should. I don't even know. This is really hard because he's right below the bomb. I think. Nope, he managed to stay alive. 9 HP. Yeah, it's kind of difficult because the bomb doesn't seem to take much of a damage hit through the floor, and so if you're anywhere above the bomb site in the same radius, you can die pretty easily. But the UMP into the next round is kind of nice for him because he's going to hang on to it, so that means he's going to save probably like 3K. And these are things that don't get highlighted enough, I think. How much saving and how much getting kills after the round is over matters towards the following rounds.
Well, economy management is such a huge part of Counter-Strike. It has a pivotal effect on how matches will unfold, and it really puts pressure on the in-game caller to have key knowledge of the decisions they want to make and how they want to structure their team in terms of what weapons will be saved and how things will be played out. So that is certainly props to the side of Faze for following through with that one so far. Of course, it's all well and good giving them props. They are still 3-0 down, but it's very early days just yet, and well, this is one of their first opportunities to really have the firepower to respond in a proper fashion.
Rain's playing this far back angle in Big Garage. This has become a standard way to play outside, but the thing is you need a second person out here to do it, and that means that it is going to be our man Alu with the op, and he'll probably be watching the Heaven Wrap. And with this, they have enough coverage. They aren't able to necessarily watch Secret or the Wrap 100% of the time, but they have reasonable outside coverage. And that's what's become really hard about CT side, is that you either need these two people outside or you need someone in Secret to make sure that no one goes lower. No, smokes are thrown out, but nobody's acted upon this just yet. Yakum's going to stand strong at ramp, and it seems like he's going to have a couple of people to try to cause him some problems. There he is, spotting them and then falling off, realizing that he can't take that fight one more time. And I wonder what his position will be in lower ramp. Looks like it's going to be in Toxic.
The flash was perfectly timed, though, so smart play being made from him. He has fallen back. Whether he can do any more damage is a whole different question completely, as they will be dropping one apiece. Gonna find one, drops the bomb, finds a second, going for the third, connects it on towards Markov. Rain gonna find another one towards Shara, and hello Faze, welcome to the scoreboard, because you have just done a huge round straight out of the bag, but all down to one man. JKM stepping up to the plate, making it 4.
That's a highlight. That's a highlight. I don't
If that's not a highlight, I don't know what is a highlight.
No, that's true. There's no other way to define a highlight.
That is guaranteed a highlight.
Yes, 100%. That is one sick highlight. Brought to you by The Score. You can find this app on iOS and Android and get all the stats and updates on games as they're happening live.
Yeah, they have live push notifications, I believe, so that's...
The app is tight.
Yeah, it's pretty good, guys. I would recommend 10 out of 10.
Shout out to Machine.
Of course, it's rolling into what will be our 5th round now. We just saw one hell of a round unfold, but Faze, they have to stick to it, keep that trend going if they want to bring back that scoreline to even Stevens. Has already willed it. He's going to take the brunt, knocked down to 14 HP, just a slither away from walking to his own grave, which is a tad uncomfortable when you take into account the position he is playing. Because JKM, he's in the Old Faithful, playing back over towards ramp, looking to see which contenders will come his direction this time around and who he can take the heads clean off of.
Vendetta brought it up and how Yakum just has to show up, and it's just so true. He got picked up because he's an excellent player. He didn't get picked up for being the support type of player. He was starting to become in contention for one of the best players in his country, and has been kind of having lackluster performances. Alu, I think, is getting called out on this rotate, but hasn't given Shara enough of his body for him to take the shot, and now he's going to make this a really safe endeavor. I don't know if he's going to cross high or not, but he probably should. Otherwise, he might just get caught in the crossfire, and Alu's going to spot the shadow, and he takes too long to find the fight. Gives him enough time to line that up and get the kill, and Alu is offered up a frag he would never have guessed he would have been able to get.
The best part about that was once Alu found that frag, he was in a prime position to reach Reckoning from above. He wasn't really needed because Keo did all the work. But even then, you look at that one and go, Keo, if he died, that would have been a huge opportunity for the AWP from above to do so much damage.
I really wish Shara would have just jumped up on the railing and then strafed out and taken the fight. And that, like, he doesn't know that the only reason he lost that, there's no way he realized that it was his shadow that gave it away. But Alu saw that and was like, oh, this guy just showed me a shadow, didn't know I was here. The entire time, he was creeping up on him and trying to calculate the best way to approach that. And ironically, that's the reason why he lost the fight.
Now we're looking at limited pistols for Flipside. They're looking to charge and out straight through long grenades. Going to be meeting them in a very awkward fashion as they're just going to glide on right past them. It will still be Rain just tapping away, looking to hit those shots. And not too much really to talk about here. It's just going to be a fairly simple open and shut round. Shara, he will find one, but it's still just one frag. And when you look at the economy phase, has been not necessarily too clean, but they will be able to start building things up. And only losing one player is not going to be too much of an impact.
No. A little more damage is dealt. Markelov, though, not completing the frag. And Flipside have a pistol and 2 anti-ecos to their aim, but Faze, after a couple of rifle round wins, are moving into this round. Oh, actually, there's one rifle round win, 1 eco. Moving into this against another full buy-up. And let's see what Flipside have in store. I actually had so much faith in them after the pistol round because we saw such an interesting strat that ended up working out really well. It was also kind of fast, and it is always nice to watch a fast, coordinated execute.
I think it certainly delivers something rather unique. But jumping into this one, it's still the 7th round now, starting to really put on quite a show between these two teams as they are battling neck and neck, and that's something that people weren't expecting. But who will pull ahead is what we're looking to see. The flip side, they don't let this one slide on by. A very important map for them, of course. They need to walk away with a victory here. The Faze, they are not going to be holding back. As off the back of one hell of a round, they started to string things together. That will be here to kick things off. Alu looking for one of his own with the AWP, lands the first, going for the repeat on the second, and just being caught out by Shara. Questionable repeat to roll in, but Jacob, he's going to be there to be the insurance policy. Flicks for the first. Doesn't assume there's a second player there, which means he's also caught off guard. Certainly damage being done, and well, brings it back into the realm of possibility for Flipside.
All right, this is where Train gets really sketchy. The Ts have to basically find a CT off guard, and yeah, you can be a really smart player, but it's super hard to figure out exactly who's going to be sitting where, and a nice frag from Waylander as he's cognizant of the fact that someone was probably going to be back bombed, though. Rain answers back immediately, and that puts Shara in a highly awkward situation. I think being upper is very beneficial to him, but again, just so many angles to have to clear, and I think the one thing he has going for him is the attention will be divided between all of these different choke points that he could come out of, that he could actually get that kill, but Keo catches them way off guard, and it seemed like he looked right and had to do that double take, and it was too late by then.
That is my biggest bugbear in Counter-Strike, and I'm sure you'll know this one personally because you played quite a lot, right? You would have seen people do this, where they say, yep, I checked the corner, but what they really mean by checking the corner is they kind of waved their crosshair over it, or waved it so they could see it in the portion of their screen, but they didn't actually pre-aim it, which means if there's someone there, they're never going to get the frag.
Yeah, the way I look at that like psychologically, it's just going through the motions, right? Everybody's like knows exactly how to clear this angle and this angle, and they're like, oh, I don't really think he's going to be here, but let me look here just because, and they were never prepared to actually take that fight in the first place. But it's like if you're going to do something, you need to be deliberate and actually make sure that you clear it.
In terms of being deliberate, Flipside, they want this ramp position, but JKM still saying flat out, no, you will not be taking this ground. You will be standing right where you are, walking to your very own graves. As he just knocks them down a peg. Well did it, now the last man remaining.
I think Yakum has earned a certain amount of respect in this map so far at ramp. He's done his job holding it down. He hasn't gone around without getting a kill there, let alone a multi-kill. Even when they followed him down ramp in a new position, he's able to put together a highlight. So I think that they, at the very least, if they want to go ramp, is try to get him to be a little bit out of position, whether that means throwing stuff outside and then hitting ramp, which is a very common strategy on T side, or having someone lurk out as they take upper or something like that, just to shoot him in the back of the head. But right now, he is too much of a beast to take that fight head on. It is not safe to go ramp. It is not safe.
Well, they need something to go with them because it's not safe to go alone, but even when they do go together, they still find themselves being continually crushed. So now, the new venture, let's head towards the site. Let's try and get ourselves through that door. But AZ, he's still going to play the similar role, drops one. Actually going to be dropping the defensive smoke to aid him even further. Shara going to be going for the aggressive movement play, but Rain, he's clocked onto it, one step ahead of him, takes him down. On Flipside, looked like they had a very good round in terms of the idea, but still they find themselves just being continually individually outplayed. Blade, 10 HP, well that it's still intact on 100, but it's just one rifle precariously low and AWP in play, and it looks like that AWP may fall very soon, and there you have it.
You know, yeah, they had a perfect setup right there of Yakum and Alu perfectly perfectly positioned. Alu knows that he could take that shot on the shoulder peak, not hit that shot, but completely bait him into it. And yeah, phases fall apart completely there. Not even an opportunity. At no point in that round did it seem like Flipside were going to win. Didn't even get to the point where they could try to execute, once again losing in their default, which is extremely scary.
I felt like there were a couple of positions in terms of concepts they had that you could see they were trying to toy with that maybe would have worked if they just did them together as a team or paired up some more. But they went for a lot of individual plays.
Yeah, teamwork is always very good.
Well, teamwork is Counter-Strike in a nutshell. You can go for individualistic plays, but there's always an element of team play involved somewhere, whether it's just basic crossfires, having a player rotate into AG, still teamwork. Just based on maybe having some individual strengths. And well, talking about these individual plays, still, AZ, he's the man from above, but he's backed up from a player over towards main just to help him aid. And well, there you have it, Rain. He will find the quick trade. That is team play doing its job, something Faze are doing so well in this series. Continuous trades rolling in, and Flipside just aren't responding.
No answer quite yet. And I think Rain was aware that that happened last round, decided to go out and look for Shara, didn't actually find him. So because of that kill, Shara's position has been given up. The bomb going down is another bit of information for Faze. This is going to be a really difficult afterblind situation. There's a bit of an advantage with the smoke to guys the cover, and I think off of it, World Edit's going to move into Toxic, which is a much safer spot for him. But Molly might cause a bit of problems. I don't think he can even stand in front of it. Down to 6 HP and then gets caught crossing back. Shara also now has a really difficult spot. Knows that he can't cross, and yeah, Jacob knows that he can just defuse his bomb right away. So.
It's the sheer balls to know that he can defuse the bomb, he can stick it. Keo has no concern at all. He trusts his teammates. He knows they're going to find the frag, and that is confidence.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's like obvious to him at that point where it's like, yeah, I've got the cross. He just heard that. He heard someone open up control. He's like, I got 2 other teammates. They know exactly how to cover me right now. There's no way that he can win this round. And Shara, fully aware of that, is like, I cannot run out and try to get this kill. And that's why he opened the door initially so quickly to try to kill Yakum crossing, because he realized that was one of the only opportunities he'd have to see him in that round.
Well, you mentioned Shara. Blade, not so much, but seems like so far they're all just being read off their death list. And Blade and Shara will be the first 2 players to fall in this round, swiftly taken down in, well, very much the early opening portion, which means easy pickings being given up by Flipside, nowhere near the way they should be kicking things off. And, well, I'm trying to think of a positive as well. I find myself searching for something to say that is one or more. Well, just still positive outside of things, but it's just not happening. Flipside still struggling now with not only the lack of trades, but now just giving away easy pickings to Faze, who are being allowed to go for pushes.
Yeah, immediately taking almost 300 damage, and World Edit opening up this door to AZ, who has been getting too many kills from up here. It is such a big advantage.
The last 4 rounds back to back.
Yeah, the last 4 rounds back to back, like 100 damage coming out of Squeaky. It's like, how are you going to win that fight versus Top Hut? Top Hut has such a big advantage. You literally have to crouch, walk into that angle, and then like aim at such an awkward position to try to get any damage off, and you probably only see feet. So
you probably just get traded in the awkward outcome. Well, if he's going to find one, but we mentioned trading. There you have it. It's going to be just another trade coming in. The damage still being done, and it's just, well, back to back. Almost as expected, reading off a script at this point. And it's, well, it is disappointing stuff, and I feel like I'm obliged to ask you.
Yeah.
Is there any silver lining?
No, not really. Flipside have won a pistol and 2 eco rounds, so no, there is no silver lining right now. I can't think of anything that Flipside. I think it's just like it's falling apart so early in every single round that what do they have to look forward to? Ultimately, Faze have done when it comes down to holds, each of their players have come up huge. And then not only that, they're giving up so many early kills. Like this thing happening at Squeaky is like the last straw every single time it happens, but they give it up. They give that kill up over and over again. And you have to wonder what is going through their heads. Why are they doing that? Sometimes when you're losing or you feel very unconfident in a team setting, you start to become more individualistic because you have less trust that your teammates will win the round, and then that's why people start doing stuff that's more like if you're getting completely stomped, you know you're going to lose. For example, in the extreme example, you feel like, okay, whatever, we're going to lose no matter what, so I might as well jump through the smoke and try to get a 2K because that's the only way we're going to win the round. Well, that's kind of the sentiment, I think, for each of the Flipside players as they keep trying this thing, right? It's madness to go into Squeaky, try to find this fight over and over again when it's not going to happen. This poor guy with his Flipside phone is supporting as best he can, but I don't think that
he's trying. I'll give him credit.
They have both signs. They've got a Flipside sign and a Faze. I love that.
So
that's great, man.
Just off the back of the fact, for anyone who's not aware, we are in a bit of a tactical pause to Flipside. They're taking a timeout, and you mentioned that players do change when they're under pressure and things are going wrong. For me, as a kind of outlooker, I go, surely that's where the coach steps in.
Yeah.
Surely there should be, at some point, the coach says, right, guys, this is not okay. You can't be making these plays. You need to get yourself back on kind of basically just level earth and basically go back into the game knowing that you're going to play the same strategies that you've been practicing online and practicing at home. Because if you come to a LAN event and you do crumble like that and you're more than happy just to let these games run away from you, well, frankly, if they let this one run away from them, they'll go home.
You know, I don't know the relationship with their coach, but the psychology of that situation is something I think about a lot, and I wonder how much a coach has in terms of leverage into these situations to motivate their team if they don't really have the undying respect of everyone who's playing. And I think what's integral to having that respect is leading the charge in every round. I think, like, and what I'm alluding to here is that, like, Blade is the IGL, so he has a lot of influence on each of their players and what happens in a round. And when things go wrong, excuse me, Blade is the one who's probably the one that's like, all right, this should have happened, this should have happened, this happened. All the coach is going to really do in this situation, and I imagine has more to do with the preparation leading up to the matches and less to do with what happens while the match is live. And I feel like, yeah, he could offer up some words of encouragement, but if Blade can't already do it, it's kind of a battle that's already lost. I think that's how I feel about it. But
really interesting perspective being brought to the table. Of course, there was a tactical pause coming in for Flipside. The result of that is them putting a bit of investment in terms of armor, but nothing too crazy. Just going to be reliant on these pistols to try and do some damage, see what they can bring to the table. Already is going to be a quick and easy frag being found. AZ looking for just one more. Actually will be caught off guard by Waylander. And JKM quick to trade things back.
There's a couple of kills. I think they pulled off what was essentially the pistol round into this rifle, but Rain getting vent control is big. Now they can't plant for it safely, and it wouldn't have even offered up that many options. World Edit now, trying to do a little bit more damage, and that's all that it is. Alu stays alive. 3 players from Faze, and they will most likely be buying up. I won't say for the rest of the half with the money that they have, but we'll definitely have a solid couple of buys, and then.
Yeah. What sort of money are we talking? Because last time I checked, and this was a couple of rounds ago, we're talking 11,000. We must be even getting to the point of players hitting money cap. That's 16K market.
Yeah, but I think even at 16K, you only have 2 full buys on CT, and then you have like one decent one because of the loss bonus after those 2 rounds. I mean, you can actually deplete that money real quickly, is what I'm trying to say, even though it's a lot. Yeah. But still, they're going to be solid for it, and they'll probably win one of the next 2 ones.
Shara, he's actually going to pick off the first pick, takes down Rain, so certainly a nice way for Flipside to kick things off and way to bring themselves back into this one because it is a 9-3 scoreline. They're going to be gunning for a 9-6 at minimum, maybe even looking for that kind of furthered scoreline, but I have a feeling it's a bit bleak to be looking that far ahead. Let's focus on this one frag by frag, round by round, in the words of Shocks. This phase, they do have the one-man disadvantage, so they have to respond somewhat differently, but then you look at AZ. He's got players ready to charge onto his position, and he's going to peek out. Finds the first. Now going to be falling back, playing the smart card. The flash will pop. They're going to be chasing on his tails. He knows they're there. But now they're just going to be holding off.
Oh my god, is he going to get 3? No, Blade does trade it at some point, but it's 3v3. And that's actually not so bad for Flipside. I'm not even sure where the other kill came out, how Rain died, but that does allow the T's to gain more coverage. And here's that belt that we saw in that previous round. Shara inching up towards Alu. I wonder if he's going to be aware. Let's see how this happens. I'm so curious if he's going to take too much time and give up a shadow. Once again, there he is. He does take the railing and find the frag. Yes, Shara.
Keo quick to trade things back, though, and that's, well, I guess, the silver lining for the Faze side of things. Flipside, though, are delivering a vastly different round. This is what we needed to see. Markov is actually going to take down Keo as a punishment being inflicted. We're getting down to a 1 versus 1. 10-second marker. The smoke is going to be popping off on the bomb site. Should be securing him a bomb plant if he so chooses to go for it. But he's running that clock right on down. JKM now, if he just peeks down to the right side, this could catch him completely off guard. He's going to be going for the peak. Markov going for the spray. He will connect the shots.
And the crowd goes wild.
Quite literally speaking, because it's been a while. But Flipside, they will find themselves around.
Yeah, Jacob definitely whiffed there. Pretty bad, because I think he was getting shot while Markelov was still pulling at his gun. But we take those. Flip side, T rounds are invaluable, hard to come by, and they've got a 4th one. Now they have the opportunity to try to get another, and they brought it to a 1v1, which is the cool part. At least they did that. And even if they won the round, or even if they lost, excuse me, we would still be able to point out the fact that they finally got it to a 1v1. A lot of things went really well. They dealt with AZ, which was a brand new adjustment in secret, even though he was able to get 2 kills. And somehow Rain died in that situation. I'm not sure how, but they made it happen. Now here is a very aggressive push out of radio into the lobby. Nobody's going to expect this. This is going to be a really, really easy shot, most likely for Alu, though. Yeah, I don't even know who he killed or how he killed Markelov, but he made it happen.
He lands a shot, and that's a frag nonetheless. You do see the trade finally coming from Shara, so this is an improvement. We said we wanted to see trades. In fairness to Flipside, we're seeing them.
Yeah, we are seeing them. And it has rained these last 2 rounds in a row, has died second somehow. Unclear exactly how that event transpired, but after all is said and done, Flipside have options, and it's actually Faze to maintain radio control, which is quite curious. That's a really risky spot because Alu pushed up so far, so you know that they're going to give it extra attention. But he's deciding to stay here because they're probably quite confident that even if they go clear it, he'll win the duel. And here Shara is going to try to get this fight, and there it is. He clears it, but right at the last second turns around. It might have been just a perfect off angle.
Blade, he's going to trade things back, though. Feels like we're really seeing the hymns of exactly the picture we wanted to be painted, and it's good stuff. It's the 3 versus 3, all to play for either of these teams.
20 seconds. There isn't even much time to fake right now. The
this
world
one
is
so
going to help
close.
him win the split. Oh, damn. Okay, Blade.
Arlo, who's going to fight back with an AWP peek on towards Wayland at the bomb. That's got down, and that's the huge factor. Now they have a lot more time to play with the Daisy. He's going to pick up World at it. Arlo going to be going for the flick, and he will land it, which means that it was a nice round. The attempts were certainly there. The build-up, it existed. Things crumbled for me when they left it for just 15 seconds to get the bomb down.
Yeah, and they will do that quite often. And it's all right as long as they have something cool happening, like they have someone ready to split. And they did have World Edit in Mini, but he wasn't able to find a kill or identify anyone, so there was nothing that they could use to have the defense upstairs or inside unravel. Blade coming out with the entry was the reason they were able to get the bomb down, and I'm sure that was quite a nice shot. It was only audible to me, but here's an immediate adjustment: the 2 auto snipers and the op.
This is brutal stuff, and if this works, you have to talk about Flipside going into the second half. They could be somewhat heartfelt as they are just going to be rattling away. Rain going to find 2 frags very quickly. Sharp will pick up 1 in respect on towards Daisy. Kia still there to do even more damage, trading it back now, rattling off the shot on towards Markelov, who will get away somewhat intact, but so many nades are being lobbed at his feet. He knows that he's being hotly contested as a frag they're trying to find, and it will be connected. Rain doing even more damage with the auto sniper, just trying to bash this one home, hammer them down and show them that, well, you thought you were doing a good job at bringing it back, but no, we are still the better team in this server, and we're going to beat you with just these auto snipers.
Oh, man. I wish this was more competitive, but if we look back at this, the one rifle round that Flipside won was a 1v1 by Markelov or Yakum with, and besides that, have a pistol round and 2 anti-ecos to their name. They're going to move into the CT side with 4 rounds, and with some teams, that's enough. You know, with some teams, that's enough. But we haven't seen that Flipside have the finesse right now to put the second half together at such a big deficit. Even though they do get the CT side to look forward to.
Well, I'll tell you an interesting stat for you, and I'm kind of interested to see what you make of this. Waylander, 0 AWP kills.
0 AWP kills. Did he even op?
I don't actually think he did.
I don't even know if he. I'm not sure if he.
I don't recall seeing one.
Yeah.
Whether someone else has whipped it out, I wouldn't even be able to recall. It's been
that
sheer
is
slaughter.
a slanderous stat. Then if he never even picked up the op.
I'm hoping production haven't just went full.
I have no idea.
Full flame at this point, but it was a stat on the screen, so I'm going to acknowledge it for now, and maybe we can check if it was full BM Savage later on. But for now, we can stick with it.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even know if he was. I'm pretty sure it was actually World Edit.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Him picking it up, so that's kind of questionable. I was thinking to myself of kind of toying in my head if I made a bit of a mistake here on who would be picking up the AWP, and well, wouldn't be the first time we've had a couple of issues in terms of stats. And well,
let's see if Flipside can pull off a cool second pistol round. They're gonna have a little bit less freedom of movement on the CT side. It will be more set up in turret-y prediction or positions, excuse me, but nonetheless, we'll have a pretty good advantage on CT side. Can sit and wait. Rotations are pretty quick to either side of the map.
He's winding down the clock already. You can see actually quite early movement taking place in a very quick portion of the round. It looks like FaZe have set their targets over on towards this ramp area, potentially trying to get down towards that B site. Is now it's all going to be on Shara. He needs to land himself a couple of shots here. He's actually going to be retreating, which is a smart play. Well did it there to somewhat support him. Finding 2, looking for the third, lands it, even going for the 4th. Blade there to support, and Alu will find 1, but it's all crumbled There's a huge play has been made. Walled at 3 back-to-back one-taps, shutting them down on their ramp push. Now it's all on Q, 1 man remaining. In a 1 versus 4, so much to play for. But in such an impossible scenario, he's going to be looking for this frag on towards Shara, but even that's not working out for him, as it will just be a couple of chest shots to end his day.
Nice round by World Edit. Wow, 3 nice shots, and then Shara falling off a ramp. It was the bait into him. That was really, really great. I think FaZe were assuming that Turnpike would have been clear in that situation because Shara was deady ramp and there was no one watching it, but he was kind of there at an off angle, just patiently hoping that the wrap would come out and would be rewarded.
Well, maybe the reason why he's not on the AWP stat is because he's on the pistol stat.
Yeah.
At least he should be now. That's what I'm expecting to see, because that was one hell of a round. But nonetheless, we're still going into our 17th, looking to see what FaZe will do in terms of response. And of course, it's sheer aggression, Tech9's brutality. That's what sits the mind. And can they make it work? So far, it seems no, as Waylander going to be doing some damage. Blade there to support him. A flying roundhouse kick to the face as Waylander flies on down. Just connects so many shots with the SMGs. And well, FaZe, he might have went in with the brutality setup, but it's non-existent. Not a single frag being found.
It's breaking my heart, man, here in this crowd. So excited. Again, we look at this stat and we see that it's Flipside to win both pistols. It's a huge reason they have the scoreline that they do. I'll hold my breath until the first rifle round to see whether or not Flipside can hold up versus the aggression of FaZe. As I think Yanko pointed out, they do a great job of creating chaos. That was definitely true on Train. Rain being the man to backstab in a lot of these situations. And what we're looking at right now is just a Glock save from FaZe as they put all their eggs in one basket last round with that buy up. Couldn't make anything happen. Now just taking that L.
Yeah, really no opportunity for them to do anything at all. Just taking that L, taking it with pride. As it will be Flipside, get themselves one step closer. And the crowd really starting to liven up. They're believing. They want this to go the full 3.
The other thing that worries me, and I hate to be such a negative Nancy, is that if
I think
Flipside,
you have to just be honest.
Yeah, you have to just be honest. But the thing is that Flipside picked this map. You don't pick a map unless you're really good on T side, right? So they were probably like, all right, we're probably good on CT side, but there's no way that they picked it without their T side being solid, because that's a scary half that you have to look forward to. And you know, well, in some situations, you know that in this case there was a knife obviously to decide, but in some situations you know that if you pick a map that you're going to be playing T side on it first. And for them to come up so short, we'll see. We'll see. This is going to be a very defining round. The difference between 12-7 and 11-8.
So vastly different, I guess you can say, as it looks like a ramp push, maybe back on the cards. Well, that it, the man with the AWP, of course, no shenanigans taking place. As he's just going to be staring down for that push over from Radio. But will anyone come his way? It seems like Jacob's having second thoughts in terms of facing, just biding his time. Ishara is actually surprisingly close as well with the rifle, so looking to have a bit of an impact of his own, just aid his teammate on that follow-up shot. Because, of course, rattling off back-to-back AWP shots can be quite tough in quick succession when a push is coming off. So having a second rifler there, that's huge in terms of support.
Oh yeah, I love the setup actually. It's almost certainly gonna catch them off guard. The jump across doesn't beat it on an op shot though, so he's gonna get a free one off, and nice bait. Shara takes advantage of that, gets those couple of kills. Very good by him. That was excellent. A World Edit. Good trigger control to not just pull it too quickly on that jump across. FaZe are really relying right on having that reaction come out.
It's just not working, and that's even just a little awkward. AZ not quite connecting the shots. Eventually we'll find it on towards Well that it. They're the duo in hand. Rain and AZ trying to claw back this round.
There's no time.
They have no time.
Yeah.
They have no control of the bomb. They might find more frags, but it's all just consolation. They're going to be looking to take down Blade.
Okay.
Blade.
Yeah.
Going to take them down to a piece.
Yeah, and all those kills very important. I mean, Blade staying alive, getting those 2 frags, very nice for them. They know that they're not going to be saving any AKs into the second or this next round, and Flipside are within 3. And if the game is over and Flipside won, it doesn't matter how they got there. They put the map. They can add the map to their score, but they now at least have a rifle round, a solid one in this game that they can look back on and say, this is how we did that. And it was off a really pretty cool setup, so I'd like to see if they have more.
They're seemingly bringing something to the table. Now it comes down to, well, you want to see if they have more, if they can keep it going, the resilience, and also just the sheer endurance to deal with this. And from the FaZe side of things, they need to start managing things and keep an eye on what's going on, because this one is starting to get to a much more closer, respectable scoreline. 11-8, it's not too much to deal with, as it will be Markov to kick things off, takes down Rain. But just pistols here, and really, we shouldn't be seeing anything happen at all. It should be a clean sweep round coming from Flipside. No damage and no losses being taken. I think we're seeing that one come full circle.
Last player spotted in Squeaky, that's Keo. The sweet 1D can't find. Oh! Oh, actually does get a 1D again, baits out. Oh, he's gonna get out! The shower from the back. Eye on the prize. It's
Well,
$1,500, man.
It somewhat retracts the problem with the team kill, I guess.
What's that?
It somewhat retracts the problem with the team kill, so it certainly
Yeah, that's true. Makes up for it.
makes up for the team kill with a bit of a knife.
Somewhat, yeah.
An interesting way for that round to unfold. But hey, it's going to be stabbing on away. Shara straight in the side of the neck. Very decisive knife. I love
That Genji play of the game right there.
Yeah, CSGO the new Overwatch, they say.
Yeah.
Either way, we finally get to see a bit of a response from FaZe. They've got 5 rifles on the board, utility Molotovs to play with, and now the big question remains in terms of how they can bring something to the table. What have they got up their sleeve that Flipside aren't quite going to be aware of? Because at this point, sheer aim is good, but they need something just a little bit better. They need some strategy tied on in, something to mix in, an element that Flipside just aren't quite in touch with in terms of how to deal with it.
Setting up slowly, it seems like they want to do something out of spawn. This is really the nice thing about nuke, is that you can have this level of comfortability on T side, throw your smokes from safety, and then have them escort you into whatever you want to do, but it seems like it's going to be something of a fake. They want inside to be played a little bit less. Seriously, Waylander dropped lower, but has already come up, and I think they got the message here, so it seems like an appropriate setup for Flipside.
Looking to push on Outblade, so close to the store, spraying down straight on through. Rain and AZ will pick up one respectively. Jacob going to find another, but well that he's found 2 apiece with this AWP. Shara going to find another, making it 2 for himself. AZ still trying to claw this one back, brings it back to a 1 versus 1, but the bomb is in his hands. Well that he's whipped out the USP, and he's going to connect the shots. Pulls up the clutch for his team. And Flipside, they're making this a much closer match, because now we're an 11-10 scoreline, and this is respectable. They can handle this.
Yeah, no, it's actually all of a sudden back to within 1, and Flipside are doing it by winning all their rounds in a row in combination with the pistol. I didn't think I'd see it be this close. I mean, it's clear from the way that all of us were talking about it that we had very little faith in Flipside, but they have done a good job. With that being said, Faze, that round from Faze looked like very good, and again, it was a 1v1, so extremely costly for Flipside. It was fortunate that they had won that clutch round in the first place, but AZ was very low. The flank came out in time. I think the big thing was that the outside thing worked. It's just that they took too long to, after that, rotate to inner, and then Flipside got set up. They called it the fake quite quickly, and whoever's call that was on Flipside, give them credit, because I think that was a huge reason why they won.
Indeed. Well, already they found themselves the first pick in this round, making that 2. Shara stepping up so huge for his team at this point. Finds the frag onto Ordalu, which is a play you don't want to be losing, because he's been doing some serious damage from the FaZe perspective. Is now they're left with just 3 players standing. AZ going to be trying to do something, pushing up towards the A-site, looking for a frag towards outside. Will catch Markov off guard. The problem here is it's a 4 versus 3, and the HP of AZ is perfect for Flipside just to trade on down.
Yeah, all they have right now is outside control. World Edit is hopping opposite vent. I think he's responsible for Squeaky right now. Rain looking to get in heaven. No one is actually watching this. Okay, there, Waylander has his eyes on it. I think it's going to be aware, Rain is going to be aware that somebody's going to be watching this for now, and is just going to be in position to help them execute when it's time. But I hope we'll try to get the attention taken away from this before they try anything. Waylander is very, very intent on getting this kill, and he does find it. So good awareness by him. Keo comes up and gets traded out immediately, and for the first time in the game, actually, no, they won the first pistol, but for the first time in a very long time, Flipside have evened up. FaZe now will take their pause. The water break.
A very solid performance coming out, and the building blocks starting to fall into place. Maybe some credit goes to the crowd for keeping them going, constantly believing, because we might have doubted them, but the crowd, well, they're simply not, and we can hear them going in the background. They are not giving up.
Yeah.
And now this is an apt time for FaZe to just take a step back from themselves, call that tactical pause, because this for them, it's pretty shaky the fact they've let it get back this far, considering their early on performance.
Yeah, it is. You know, this is the easiest route back where you win these rounds in a row, but it was up to FaZe to stop the bleeding as soon as they could, and they couldn't win either of the rifle rounds where they had the opportunity to do so. So I actually have a lot of faith in, I think, one of the executes that FaZe had, that rifle round that came down to the 1v1, but it was mistimed when they threw the fake, it took them way too long to go upper. And I hope that they get that resolved, because I don't think that the strat necessarily was wrong. It's just that the way that they had it laid out. Oh, we're going to do this, and then we're going to have this happen. I don't think they expected Faze to I don't think they expected Flipside to adjust as early as they did. Maybe that's what caught them off guard. But either way, Flipside were in position as soon as the fake settled. As soon as the dust settled, Flipside were in position to deal with it.
They're doing a good job so far, and when now it comes down to Faze, you've discussed the fact they have a very solid execute. One execute's not going to win in this game at this point. They need something slightly different. Defaults, we've not really seen too much from that here and there. We've saw it a couple of times, but they haven't really even relied on that to get picks. But one of the other things I'm looking towards is maybe just a bit more controlled aggression together as a unit.
Yeah, potentially. So the things, so we can rule out in execute, we can rule out default, and those are the things that they've tried. There's only been 3 rifle rounds. Like, if we put things in perspective, Flipside are here because they won rounds in a row. It's been a save by save situation, including a half by right now. But yeah, they haven't tried a fast execute, and they haven't tried I don't know, a tactic, if that's what you're alluding to with controlled aggression, right? Like, how do we get an opening kill with like a really cool pop flash, and then fall back to a 5v4, and then fall back into our default one more time? They haven't really attempted to do that.
Certainly makes sense. Unfortunately, the pistols this time around not going to be doing too much. AZ, he will find himself one with the Tech 9, and the armor is in place, so they are going to be looking to have an impact at least in terms of at least trying to play for a plant. But Blade, he's flat out denying them, finding himself to Rain, going to be jumping on down with the Tech 9. Leonie makes a mess of things. He's trying to buy himself time, but at this point, he's shut the doors. The sound cue has been made. Surely at this point, Flipside should know exactly where he's positioned. The nade landing right on his footsteps. I mean, he's knocked down to 18 HP, and at this point, there is nowhere left for him to run. He's trapped, well, the stairway to hell. And it ends in a very brutal fashion. Him back to his grave, and Flipside, they've got 12 rounds. They're ahead.
Yeah, this could be a turning point where the thing is, a lot of these rounds were very close, but that last round was a good economy building round, I think, for Flipside, where only a couple of kills were made by Faze, and we're gonna have a full buy up. No ops are gonna be on the board for Faze, but ops are kind of a liability on nuke, excuse me, where it can be very hard to make anything happen. This map is quite CP sided, and that's because the angles that you hold are pretty safe overall. You know, it's the early part of the round, phase 1 of the round. What are Faze gonna do? They're gonna try to burn. Well, Flipside are going to try to burn down the clock. Faze are going to try to bait out the resources. And it's just going to be this battle to see who is going to execute, when they're going to execute, and how much we can... Wow, Blade's actually sitting in vent right now waiting for the vent drop. This would be a great position if that actually happened. Kind of interesting place to be.
It's all about this war of attrition when it comes to nades, backed up by the war of just sheer time and patience. It comes down to working out exactly where their execute is going to come and
just walking outside.
So it looks like they're doing a bit of aggression towards the outside. The flashes, so far so good coming in from Flipside. Blade is going to be really the man to keep an eye on here. He's in a perfect position. Markelov going to find one. Now they're in a perfect crossfire. Jacob, he's going to pick up one, but they have all been mowed down. One player left remaining. It's all on Keo, and there is nowhere left for him to look. As now Flipside, they've got themselves to 13. We wanted to see another buy from Faze. We just did, and they were dismantled in a very quick fashion.
That was sick. That was really, really nice setup. They baited them right into that. The crowd is hype right now because Flipside are showing signs of life on the CT side. Markelov here, and this is the great thing about this setup, right? And what's so nice about it is that you have 2 positions that one is presented as a bait, right, where you have the flashes coming out of lower. You're hoping to go outside so you can get away with it. And it's like you could put the 2 of the worst aimers possible in those positions, they'll still get kills. That's how you know it's a good setup.
It's just a complete reckoning taking place on the side. The pistols of Faze, they try to do something, but still the rifles of Flipside are raiding victorious as we're now at 14. And every single round that Flipside pick up, the louder this stadium gets filled. Because currently Faze, nothing seems to be working for them. They're trying everything they've got in their playbook. They have another buy round to bring to the table. We have a checklist in front of us, you know, just ticking off these things, what we think's not working for them, that mid-execute. Yeah. The defaults.
So again, I think they tried the exact same execute, but this time instead of doing the fake, they decided to go with the outside take, and they tried walking, and it didn't work. They got called out again. Flipside have that good information, man. They're right in the heads of Faze, know exactly what's up. Now it's going to be another round. Very interesting to watch this match play out as Faze now are on the back foot, one away from match point, and Flipside seem to be directly have downloaded them are completely in their brains at the moment.
The clock still quite a way off yet, so both teams have a lot of time to play with in terms of just playing still that attrition war and grinding out the overall time to work out exactly where players are positioning themselves and really what the strategy is behind Faze. And so far it's going to be a bit of an aggressive push over towards the A site. Keo will be doing the work for his team, finds himself 2 picks. Rain going to find another. Waylander will try and trade things back, but it's still not looking too good now. 4 versus 2. Shara, though, from above will pick up a pick respectively, looking for take it one step further, dropping down, but Raze is there to punish him, and now it's all on well that it. Can he edit this one away as he's in a 1 versus 2? Still not quite spotting out his close right corner, and that's going to be fatal as Arlo is there with the rifle to knock him down a peg. And Faze proving that they're not quite out for the count just yet, but for me, I'm still looking at this as them on that 6 count in the wrestling ring.
And it seemed to be the outside, the inside exec really quickly was the difference maker. They were able to rely solely on their aim, and Keo was a guy that works really well in chaos. And he came off the team like Envy that moved extremely fast, and he was able to get these entries in positions in situations where there's just so much going on, and I think that's where he flourishes. So I don't know if they'll try it again, but the problem is they only have one thing that works, and that was going fast. And Flipside still have a lot of money, so that means they can shut down anything fast with proper counter nades. Are going to be aware of that right now, and FaZe are in danger of a reset. So this might be the last round for them if they're unable to win.
So in reality, it's perhaps one of the most important rounds they're going to be playing on this map, as it seems like Ramp is their chosen selection. Shara, he's going to peek on out, only connects 1, but does a good chunk of damage. Look at the HP, but Rain and Keo, they are starting to pop off. They are stepping up to the plate as we're back to a 4 versus 3, but Waylander, he's going to be able to catch a player off guard. Well, they're going to find another. Rain and AZ have fallen. As we're back to a situation the Flipside can pull ahead of. Blade playing around the corner. Waylander going to be looking to catch J-Chem, but it's going to be a return. J-Chem now playing for the plant. As with that 2 versus 2, knocking that timer down, so really starting to choke that clock. But look at the HP of Keo and J-Chem.
They absolutely need to take their time in this situation. The retake coming out. Oh no, Jacob actually finds a headshot and gets put in an awkward spot, but Keo, even with low HP, has the positional advantage right now. Oh no, makes his position known, and it seems like smoke's gonna come out. The bomb is planted back. I don't know if he's gonna try to get off this right now. It looks like he is. Whoa, wow! Strafing out so wide.
Huge mistakes coming in from Keo. We have to be blunt, we have to point that out. 2 mistakes being made, back to back, strafing out wide, making his position known way too early, just whiffing those shots. And that is going to be what brings them to 15.
Yeah, I mean, really good on him to call out the fact that Keo was going to run across like that. But man, that was super close. And I think Keo could have actually, when he went to clear out Toxic, could have caught him on the run back instead of trying to take that fight right away. Had to shoot through glass, and I think was a big reason why he wasn't able to get that kill in the first place. But either way, Flipside put the round on the board and had everything going right for the most part throughout that round. So there's a lot of credit to be given to them for it.
Faze, in regards to tool set, it's looking pretty damn bleak at this point. You mentioned just how tough their economy would be, and basically the fact that their buy rounds are going to be somewhat non-existent unless they can grind their way back up into this matchup. The flip side, they've got themselves on their respective map point. They want to hammer this one home. They pulled off one hell of a comeback. And all it is just 5 frags stopping them from pulling things off. As you can take a look at these positions, Wayland is just in such a crucial spot to hold off any damage over towards the A site. As you can see, it's almost being fated as Blade very close in the smoke as well.
What's going to happen here? We've got enough utility to just perform any type of full execute. It's really the fact that they only have Tech 9s that's holding them back right now. And Blade at the back of the site is going to have the opportunity to spray down people along with his teammate at Mustang. That's Waylander. Though a couple of them go down, and it's 3v3. And now it's just all up to AZ. Last man alive with a Tech 9.
Such a horrible scenario to be
that's
caught in,
it.
but it's
Shara
not going to
wins
happen. Shara, he will walk away with the clutch. Flip side, they're going to walk away with this map 16-12. No one expected this one to happen. It looks such a dominating start from FaZe. The flip side, they do come with the comeback, and a monumental one at that, I think is what we called it at the time. This is going to be huge for them, not just on the fact that they've got themselves in this BO3 still, but just from that mentality perspective we touched on before getting into this map.
Yeah.
That restores their faith and confidence.
Yeah. No, a couple of the errors that we saw FaZe have were palpable. There were definitely points in that match, in that CT side, where you could say, all right, FaZe, or excuse me, on the T side, where you could say FaZe could have done this differently. They could have timed things differently. There's left side getting the crowd going. But the thing is that there are so many good things to actually highlight about Flipside CT side that I have no problem giving them credit. Like that setup in secret when it was going to be that outside take, and then the call out to get in position to defend upper when they initially sold the fake outside. There was a lot of times where Flipside were just making the right calls, and I love the fact that you can look at a CT setup and go, these are positions that you can put players in that even if they're really bad aimers, it's such a good setup that they are guaranteed to get the kills. That shows that they have calculated it properly, that they have a good read on their opponents, and that does come down to really good setup. So nice job, really nice job.
Yeah, solid play coming out, and now it comes down to that crucial third map. Can they repeat similar success? That's what we're looking to see. But for now, we are going to hand back to Analyst SQ. Well, they're going to be stumped to words, I'm sure, and this time around it should be a little bit easier to dissect, but it's still a tough result.
Gaming bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2, make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO, guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins, but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CSGoFast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.
Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and StarCraft 2, the largest contests in the history of esports among the national teams. World Electronic Sports Games, the World Championship with the total prize pool of $4.5 million US. Registration for Europe and CIS regions is open. The finals will be held from October 6 to 9 in Kiev, Ukraine. Win your slot in the finals of the World Championship. Register right